Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader, and let's get started. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the risk disclosure here, just to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader herein is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend any security, company, or fund. Use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of this information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital that they can otherwise afford to lose, should be used when trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that I've gotten the risk disclosure out of the way, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the news. And although the most significant news has already been published, okay, we've gotten a pretty solid move in the markets already. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so as I mentioned, CPI has already posted and has had a already an impact on the markets here. Okay, so we have the U.S. Treasury Bessent testifying here at 10 a.m. For those who trade, for those who trade crude oil, we have the inventory reports coming in today at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and then we have some 10-year note high yield bid to cover information coming out at 1 p.m. Okay, we still have a fair amount of news coming this week. We have jobless claims coming in tomorrow. We have PPI coming in tomorrow. And then some inflationary numbers here to close out the week. All right, so still fair amount of news still in the horizon for this market. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and start to take a closer look here at the markets here. So we're going to go ahead and move to our platform here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this, and we're going to start with this here. All right, so I'm going to we'll remove to the normal contracts here, guys. We're going to turn off some of our indicators. This one here. Open this one. So maybe turn this off here. Turn off the bands. And we'll turn off EDR here for a moment. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart. All right. We're going to again take a look at this. Okay, so you can see that the market, even with today's news, has been in a somewhat of a in range. Okay, we been in some sort of consolidation pattern. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that as kind of an area of demand here around 3330. Okay, maybe as low as 3300. Okay, so the midline here would be around the 3300 area. All right, or I should say 3000 area. Okay, right. So 3,300. Okay, it seems to be an area of demand here. Okay, so you can see that we are in some sort of consolidation range. Okay, so we're in some sort of consolidation here at the moment. Okay. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. We're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. You can see as we kind of zoom in on these candles, again, we remain in this consolidation range in this market. Okay. We seem to be in a little bit of a, I would say, bearish swing at the moment. Okay. So we have a down move followed by what appears to be a little bit of a retracement. We have a candle here that is appears to have been rejected. Okay, we moved higher only to find sellers. Okay, so for our chart is I would say looking a little bit more to the bearish side. Still in this consolidation pattern, so I would say neutral to bearish. Okay, on the 4-hour. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, we are again, you can see that we are in some sort of downward move in this market. Okay, we're sloping down. We made an attempt again as a result of the news to move higher, only to be received by sellers. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here for yesterday's session. Take a look and see where that is in relation to the open of today's session. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to open that up to, and then this will lead us to the close of the session right about here. Okay, so you can see that we opened inside, right? We opened just outside of value, looks like, okay, and we moved higher, okay, away from value, and then now back inside value, okay. So on the surface, we had an outside day, okay. You can see that our initial balance range is still inside the general range from Friday. Okay, actually, is that Friday? Friday, and then we have the range here from Tuesday. Okay, we're going to go ahead and see if we can add the Monday range here, just for completeness. So we'll see here whether we are in some sort of range in this market. Okay, it appears so. Okay, so you can see here that we still remain inside the larger range. Okay, just indicating that there is some sort of rangy kind of price action that's going on currently in the gold. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and do a little anchor. We're going to add our anchor VWAP to this discussion here. We're going to add London to this. Okay, right about there. Okay, you can see that price. Just going to zoom in here a little bit closer to this price action. You can see that price is below London and now working its way below our daily VWAP. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add our initial balance now that and you can see as a result of CPI the kind of range that we've created today. Okay, so we made an attempt to go higher, only to find sellers. Okay, now at the moment we are on the lower end of this initial balance range. Okay, so given the strength or given the reaction, the view is that there's probably more potential downside opportunity in this market. Okay, this area here is an indication that there's a fair amount of sellers in this market, and as long as price remains below our anchor VWAP for London And as we work our way below our daily VWAP, then that could provide us the a view that we will continue lower. Okay. But I'm going to remain patient here. Okay. I'm going to wait for price to exceed this range, close this range before I take any sort of action. So we're on the second of our 30-minute candles here. We're going to go ahead and wait for this candle to decide which direction. We've already gotten a good indication of where that direction might be. It's come into an area where we see that we have a little bit of a demand. Okay, this is kind of a demand area now. Okay, right here. All right, this does appear to be an area of demand. Okay, so we're gonna see whether we are able to hold. Okay, at the low end of the initial balance range, or whether this is going to lead to another leg to the downside. Okay. So that's kind of my view of the gold market. We're going to go ahead and just quickly add our ADR levels just to get a sense. So we're kind of on the upper end of the average daily range here, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and also open up the session range here, if I can locate it. Right, is that it? No, multiple. Okay, let's manually add it here. ADR range. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and turn off. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. And turn it on, but we're going to turn off the background here. Okay, we're going to make sure it says London for now. Okay, and then that'll give us kind of an adjusted range. Okay, so you can see here that we're in the middle of the range. Okay, looks like we found a little bit of support here at the bottom. All right, so we'll have to see how the marketplace plays out. Now, given the wide range here, this wide initial balance range, it seems less likely that we'll extend this range too much. Okay, we already have a very wide initial balance range, and it's quite possible that we remain inside this initial balance range today. Okay, so we'll have to focus our attention on the edges of the initial balance range for opportunities. Okay, so my expectation is that we'll remain in some sort of range. I'm going to use this kind of value area high here from Friday, okay, as maybe the upper end of the range, okay, since the other areas are below. And then we have the lower end of the range down below here, okay? And that's going to be kind of another set of support and resistance lines that I'm going to be focused in on for this market, because that represents the larger range, okay? Friday's larger range, and then Monday, Tuesday, we have value ranges that are inside that range, okay? So I'm going to use those lines as kind of areas maybe for potential resistance and support for maybe possible opportunities today in this market. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead now and move on to the crude oil market. Okay. We're going to go ahead again, do a similar kind of analysis here. We're going to start off with the monthly chart here, not monthly, daily. Okay. So you can see here that we continue our march, okay, to the upside. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. You can see that price is well, it looks like even with this candle here, we've broken some structure to the upside. So it looks like we even with today's action, okay, with today's news, that we are seeing some more initiative buying, okay, in this market. All right. So the market has moved away from this kind of consolidation range, and now has given us some price events that indicate that maybe there's some further upside opportunities in this market. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, again, we're starting to develop some higher highs and higher lows. We're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. Higher highs and higher lows, okay? You can see, right? So again, we're kind of developing some bullish market structure that is supported with volume currently. Okay, we have a developing 4-hour candle to the bullish side, again indicating that there's fair amount of bullish sentiment in this market. Okay, looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart, we've already exceeded. Okay, we've exceeded the ADR and ASR ranges for London, okay, indicating that we could very well be in some sort of sustained, auction to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to be looking. That was actually I'm going to be looking to see if I can get some opportunities. I have a sloping VWAP. I'm going to be patient and wait for opportunities to come back down to VWAP for executions to the upside. Okay. We're going to go ahead now and take a look at the fixed range volume profile and kind of confirm what I already suspect, but we're going to go ahead and confirm it anyway. Okay. We're going to go ahead and start with yesterday's session into the close of session. Okay. And you can see that price has managed to get above value, okay, which is kind of what I expected. It started off inside value, okay, with this 9 a.m. candle, pushed above it, and now we are retesting the highs of value. Assuming that we can hold above value, that could be an indication here that we could continue to see an upside or continue to see bullish move continue. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and open up our initial balance. Okay. Okay. See what the initial balance is saying. Relatively tight initial balance range. And then we're going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP to this discussion here. So anchored VWAP here is right about there. Okay, there's our anchor VWAP. Okay, so all indications are that we are going to continue to move higher in this market. Again, I'm going to be looking for one of two things. Okay, I'm going to be looking for a pullback. Okay, to one of these, either the baby blue line or the solid purplish line here, which represents various VWAPs that I'm looking at, as an area for me to participate to the potentially to the upside. Okay, or I'm going to wait for a move that will break the initial balance range. Okay, to either direction. Okay, my view is at the moment is to the upside, and then wait for a 15-minute close outside the range, and then look for price to revisit that area for a move to the upside. Now, one thing that we need to be aware of. Okay, today is EIA. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Today is EIA. So we have inventories coming in here at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, so that could explain why we're seeing such a tight initial balance range, because there's no market participants that want to put in any sort of position in any sort of direction without having an understanding of what that inventory report is going to say. So while I am looking for a bullish opportunity, we have to remain flat, I would say, until that inventory report comes out. But yes, heading into this session, it does look like we may see some bullish continuation in this market. There's a fair number of bulls in the overnight session and into London. Okay, in this market. All right, let's go ahead now. We're gonna move into. I'm gonna stop sharing here for a minute. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move into my different platform, and we're gonna go ahead and launch my view of not different, but different account here, and launch my the equity markets. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's go ahead now. We're going to go ahead now and move into the equity markets. Morning, Alejandro. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ. Okay, so here's the NASDAQ. Let me think if it wants to load it here. Okay, there it is. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart. All right, there's the daily chart. Okay, so as you can see here, we continue to move higher in this market, right? As we look at the most recent pivot, right? We continue to make a march to the upside here. Okay, so daily chart looks quite bullish to me. Moving down to the 4-hour chart, okay, equally as bullish here. Okay, you can see that we're developing a rather strong bullish candle to the upside. We are creating higher highs and higher lows in this market. So again, 4-hour is very much aligned with the daily at this point. Moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay, we're going to start off. Okay, we've already kind of reached our ADR. Okay, ADR high and ASR high for this market. Okay, indicating that we've kind of exceeded the range or reached the range for this market. But we all know that was news driven. Okay, we're going to go ahead now and open up our fixed range volume profile and get a sense for where price is currently as compared to prior session here. So here we are. We're going to drag that across to the close here. Okay, you can see that price is above value, but as you know that this was news driven, right? So if I look at this candle here or this candle here, we were just on the upper end of the value range. We're going to go ahead and do one other volume profile here, just in comparison to see kind of the general direction of these volume profiles. So we're going to look at the Monday volume profile in comparison to today. Okay, so you can see that the ranges are moving higher, right? We had this range that moved, and then yesterday's session increased the range further higher. So again, indications that we are in some sort of bullish market. Okay, all right. Initial balance range is still not in play. Market is still about 10 minutes away from opening. We're going to go ahead and open up our anchor VWAP here for the start of London. Okay. It's right about, let's see, where is that? Right about there. Okay. Start of London. Okay. So you can see that price is above our daily VWAP, also above our London session. Okay. So right now, all indications point to further upside move in this market. Okay. So headed into today's session, it appears that we should be looking for opportunities to the bullish side. Again, this area here around the VWAPs, both the anchored and the daily, are areas that I'm going to be focused in on for maybe opportunities to the upside here. Okay. Given that we have kind of a VWAP that's sloping to the upside. Okay. So headed into the session, looking for a bullish activity. We are kind of up against these ADR zones. So I would like to see these ADR zones or average daily range zones, both on the session and the daily, to be exceeded. Okay. I'd like these ranges to be exceeded, and I'd like to participate if I'm going to continue on the other side of these ranges to the bullish side. Okay. That's kind of what I would be looking at if I'm bullish. Now, certainly these areas, if we are unable to get above them, could serve as an area maybe for a possible a reversal in price. Okay. But I would probably wait for this initial balance range to establish before and understand which direction the participants want to take the market before I make that move, because I feel like right now, with the higher time frames telling me bullish, that would be a little bit more counter trend. Okay, so I'd like to see if I can remain aligned with the general direction of the market. And for me, on the higher time frame, that remains higher. Okay. So before I go ahead and move into the last couple of markets of the day, guys, just want to encourage you guys to hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, hit a subscribe button on my portal. Again, don't be shy with any comments on how this content is benefiting your trading. Again, your participation is kind of the lifeblood of me, continuing to provide this content to you. Okay, so let's go ahead now and review the last couple of markets here. We'll start off with the ES here. Okay, again, we'll start off with the daily chart. All right, so daily chart, you can see much like the Nasdaq, okay, we are in what appears to be a bullish market. Okay, all right, we're going to go ahead and turn off our ADR levels here for a moment. Okay, you can see that price, it continues to make higher highs and higher lows. We are seeing a little bit of a wick here up on the top of this candle here, but nonetheless, it still remains a bullish candle. We won't know exactly how this candle is going to end up until the end of the session here, but we are seeing that we are in the upper end, or continue to make higher highs and higher lows in this market. Okay, moving down to the 4-hour chart, okay, kind of zooming in on these candles here. We're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. You can see that we continue to make higher highs and higher lows. We are above some of these anchored VWAPs and daily VWAPs. Okay, you're welcome, Robin. So yeah, nothing here indicating that there's any sort of, if anything, we are continue to break structure to the upside. Now, what is a little bit of concern, I would say, is this little candle here. We are seeing that this candle is being met with some sellers here. Okay, so we have to be cognizant of that. We have to be aware of that. Okay, still very much bullish, but the fact that there are some sellers up here, up at the upper end of the range. All right, moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue with our analysis here. We'll start off with some volume analysis. Okay, so this is an anchor VWAP from a past. We're going to go ahead and remove that. We're going to go ahead and add our anchor VWAP from London session here. Okay, so there you have it. Okay, so you can see price is above that. Again, this is our CPI candle. Okay, that's our CPI candle that gave us a little bit of a thrust here to the upside, but it has since been met with some sellers. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. Okay, and get a sense where price is in relation to today's price action. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and locate that. So this is the start of the session. We'll drag that to the close of the session here. There it is. Okay, so you can see that price is above value. Okay, indicating that there is folks are willing to pay a premium to continue to participate in this market to the upside. Okay, we have price above our VWAPs. Okay, both the daily and the anchored, above our value area from yesterday. The initial balance is still not in play. We're going to go ahead and you can see that we've already reached the high end of the ADR range. And I'm going to go ahead and add the ASR to this discussion. And you can see that we're getting some reaction off of the ASR range at 60, 63.25. Now, again, if we are going to maintain this posture or this view, this candle has to exceed this level here. Okay, if we are going to maintain this view. Again, similar to the NASDAQ, I'm going to be looking for opportunities, okay, a little bit of pullbacks, into these zones of VWAP, right, for me to look and participate potentially to the upside, okay? The fact that we've already reached the ADR zone so early in the session is an indication that there's a fair amount of strength in this market, again, to the upside, okay? So that's kind of what I'm going to be looking for, is further upside moves, but I'm not opposed to maybe a possibility that we make a rotation back to some of these lows before we make that move. Okay, so I'm going to be quite keen in looking at the initial balance range waiting for the initial balance range to tell me which direction they want to take the market. For now, my view is that they want to take the market higher, okay? But I do understand that we are up against some levels of resistance. All right, let's go ahead now and review the last market, and that's the Dow. Okay, so taking a look at the Dow here. All right, we're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart. Okay, daily chart again indicating we are breaking some levels above. Okay, continue to provide us evidence that we have market participants that want to continue to take this higher. The only caveat is that we are seeing a little bit of selling up above us here. Okay, so there are sellers on this end here around 43,000. Okay, that could cause the market to falter from here. So we have to be aware of that. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Again, we've made an attempt here to break above this ascending triangle, right? We got to the apex of this ascending triangle. We made an attempt to go higher. That attempt has at least partially been met with some sellers here, okay? So the question is, are we going to be able to maintain to hold above this ascending triangle? I would expect that this area, if it's indeed going to be, we are going to continue bullish, then this area needs to hold, okay? This area around 42,950, 960, okay? This area needs to hold in order for us to maintain this view. Notice price has yet to make it above, okay? Make it above our 43,000 level, okay? Moving down to the 30-minute chart, okay? So we're about a minute away from the open here. So you can see that we have this selling wick, okay, based on the news here. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile from yesterday and get a sense for where price is, okay? I suspect that we know the answer to that question, but we'll confirm that anyway, okay? So here we are above value from yesterday, again, indicating that we have a fair number of participants to the bullish side in this market. We do understand that there are sellers here that managed to drive price lower. Okay, we got up to 43,200, and now we're hovering again below this 43,000 level. That is significant. The fact that they're able to drive price below 43,000 is a strong indication that there are sellers here. Okay, all right. All right. I don't know. Okay, so it looks like the Dow. All right, so yeah, so headed into the market, I would say that I'm going to go ahead and draw in our fixed range, or not anchor VWAP here, just to get a sense here. Anchor VWAP. There it is. Okay, so everything is pointing to the upside. So I would say again, just to summarize, just going to take a peek here at the gold. Okay, so gold looks like it's heading higher. Okay, crude oil is also appears to be bullish. Okay, and then ultimately the equities. Oops. Looking a bit bullish. Okay. But we don't want to see price get below either of those VWAP lines. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for you today, guys. As we close the session, again, don't hesitate to make a few comments. You're welcome, Mike. A few comments on the portal. If you're not already a subscriber, I would encourage you to do that at minimum. And yeah, so trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent day trading, guys, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Okay.